Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Eric the Old Jarhead here, getting another almost 21-foot Doug Fir up on the deck, and we're going to get it milled into some beams for the customer. And then at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we accomplished that day and kind of show you around a little bit of the build that the customer's doing with some of the lumber, and talk a little bit about my trip in and all that kind of good stuff. So stick around for that. We're going to get into milling this big old Doug Fir into some beams, and we'll get a little bit of 1x and 2x stock out of it as well. Being another big log, of course, we had a lot of fun with it, trying to get it positioned on the deck and all that kind of stuff. And I did a little trick right there that you may not have noticed, but when I lift this log up, because we couldn't push it down all the way, I used my log clamp to kind of push it into those side supports. Not real tight, just enough to kind of hold it into position, and then I lowered the side supports at the same time. What that does is it actually shifts the log down a little bit, and I needed to shift it far enough away for the band that I could easily fire up the band, get it running, and then enter the log. So by using my side supports, I was able to shift the log down a little bit, and then we can go ahead, check that center height, and away we go, make our tap cut and get started. So I'm going to let this run. You can see how we milled this one down, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about the day and my adventure in getting into this job site. I hope you enjoy it.
same pair of jeans and the ponytail. Never see the sun, never ever see the sky. How did the birds look like? Is it winter now? Under the pressure of life, under the pressure of life, under the pressure of life. I'm stuck in here, I need some fresh air. But I'm down in here, still trying to make my way. From A to B, it's the same day as the yesterday. Tomorrow will be like today. 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 Tomorrow, 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 tomorrow will be like today.
Oh boy. Long day today. Well, let's have a look, see what we got. They need to restack these. I guess I'll talk to them about that. Bunch of 20-foot stuff here. So it's all actually almost 21 feet. There's the mill set up there. I got a log deck. What do we got? 32 logs still. I won't get those all tomorrow. I know he wants to try to get as much as he can, but some of those guys are big. You look in here, you're talking 1, 2, I can't really see in this light, 3, 4, pretty big logs. These guys are 16 to 20 feet long, some in the 21-foot range. Big logs, a lot of wood, a lot of scrap. This shop behind me here, that actually was made with lumber that I milled. Kind of a cool shop. He built a little room here on the back side of another one, and then built the shop behind it. So beams, that beam there. So these beams and posts. This is all stuff I milled. Interesting construction. That building, I think, is one he had brought up. I think that's a prefab, and that's a prefab. So he built the shop roof over those, and so he's got his shop behind here. But there's a lot more lumber that I milled for him, but I heard he sold a bunch. There's the mill set for the night. You can see that the band is off, the covers are off, it's been all cleaned out. I like to try to get things cleaned out really well, and just kind of ready for the next day. So we made a lot of sawdust today. I milled for just over 6 hours. I think on the clock it was 6 1/4. I probably milled 6 hours, actual hours. I did a little helping them move things around and have my chainsaw out a couple times, but yeah, you could see the old jar head set up here. And I'll tell you, these remote jobs are kind of fun. Everybody leaves. And they leave me here with my camper set up and my mill. On this last log, I did a lot of beams. It was big enough that I could get free of heart center beams. So I went ahead and started knocking beams out of it, because that's something that the customer really likes. He wants his beams free of heart center. So when I see that I can get 6x6 or 6x8 beams for him, or posts, depending on what he's going to use them for, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to knock them out best I can that way. So sometimes I'm doing things a little different. Things are not always cut and dried. Running a mill like this, sometimes you got to be a little artistic. kind of work your way around different situations. And I'll tell you, today, honestly, my brain wasn't functioning. So one of the things I'll do sometimes, because I mill so many different sizes, I mill 1 5/8 today, and he wanted 3 5/8, 5 5/8, 7 1/4, and 9 5/8. So I have to change sometimes my thinking. And when the brain isn't working right, and you're like, where do I want to start this one at? And I usually have them either written or marked or something, but today I was struggling a little bit. What I'll do is I'll say, well, I think it's 15 1/8, and I'll drop it to 15 1/8 and hit the down switch a couple times on the simple set and see where it goes and go, you're off 1/8 of an inch, move it 1/8 of an inch or whatever. Sometimes I'll do that. Just if the brain ain't working, I'll let the computer do the work for me. Beautiful place. A lot of those wildflowers. I hit the road this morning from the campsite at about 6:15. Got up here, got milling around 10. Had to have them pull the mill in, and you probably see that in a short. I don't think I did any video with my GoPro. I did it all with my phone, and so those will probably be shorts. But you know, I dropped the mill off actually about a half a mile away, and then I let the customer pull it in because my rig is so big and the corner is so tight getting in here that it's just too tough to try and pull it in with a 10-foot camper on the back of an 8-foot bed and a 3-foot extension out the back, and the road's pretty gnarly. So I'll kind of show you what I was dealing with coming in here. So you come down and you work your way in, and if you look, some deep ruts. Those are deep ruts. So with the camper, it's kind of tough, you know, and you got to kind of pull your way down and then back in here. And it could be a challenge, especially with that big camper. You know, these ruts here will really rock that camper back and forth. I don't know if you can see that view out there, but it's absolutely gorgeous, just beautiful. But anyway, with the camper, you're trying to keep it from rocking back and forth. You don't want to break anything. You don't want to knock stuff off the walls. So I unhook it, let them take it in and back it in for me. I could get out of here if I come down up here. If I were to come down over where his truck is and kind of work down here, and then I probably could make that turn to get up there and get out of here. And if I leave here Saturday, I'm going to probably have to do it. And it might take a little jockeying around with the truck, but we'll find out. So, well, you know, I took a wrong turn on my way in here and I had to turn around on a much narrower section of road. So if I have to pull it out, I'll pull it out. And we were, oh my gosh, you know, we were about 7 inches or something off even here. So we went up on 4 inches of blocks down here, and then took the camper legs and jacked up the front of the camper even more, about 3 inches, and to get it level. What's really nice is it is cool. It's probably maybe 70 degrees out, and all I've had to do is run the fans all day in the camper, and it stayed 70, 71 or 2 in there. So awesome. So anyway, folks, it's time for Bourbon 30. So I'm gonna go ahead and say goodnight to you guys, and you know, thanks for watching. The old jarhead out. I appreciate every one of you. Y'all have a great day. Oh, I missed my turn. Just crawling along on this rather rough road, trying to get to my turn up ahead. I actually think I probably kind of went the wrong way in, but this will work too. So we'll get to the job site and get working. And just like that, the customer grabs the mill and hauls it in the last half mile or so for me, because it's a little rough and tight for the big camper to pull it in there.